For 2019, Gibson Guitars has unveiled a new series of their acoustic guitars. These are the G-45. There's two in the series, the Standard and the Studio. We're going to take a look at both of them today. Check it out. Hey Internet, this is Christopher McKee with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and like our videos. As I mentioned, Gibson Guitars has unveiled a new line of acoustic guitars, the G-45. Now, the guitar currently comes in two models, the G-45 Standard and the G-45 Studio, which I'm holding here today. We're going to take a look at the specs of both of them, but the highlights are basically this. They're made in the USA all solid wood, slope shoulder or round shoulder dreadnought guitars that come with electronics and a case and some specific unique appointments to them to make them really a traditional handmade Gibson acoustic, but for a more modern player. So let's take a look at each one of these guitars and I'll tell you kind of what's the same and what's a little bit different between them. Okay, so we're going to start with the Studio, which is the least expensive of the two. The Studio G-45 is $999, right at $1,000. And let's talk about the specs of both of the guitars that are the same. The G-45 Studio and Standard are the same body shape and body depth. So they are kind of like a J-45, round shoulder dreadnought guitars. They have less depth than a traditional J-45 though. So think of it as round shoulder Gibson dreadnought, but less depth on it. They feature all solid wood construction. So solid top, back, and sides. In both guitars, that means a solid Sitka spruce top and solid walnut back and sides. They both feature a Fishman sonotone pickup in them, and the bracing on both of them is non-scalloped domed Gibson X bracing. They both feature the 24.75-inch Gibson scale length. The nut width's a little different. It's not 1 11/4 or 11/16, and it's not 1 3/4. It's kind of in the middle at 1.725-inch nut width. So wider than maybe most Gibsons have been in the past, but not as wide as, say, a typical Taylor nut width would be. It's a 16-inch radius, and up top you get Grover mini rotomatic tuners on both of them with a silkscreen Gibson logo. Now let's talk about what's different. You save money by going with the Studio in a few ways. First of all, it's an all satin finish guitar. Now, some of you may actually prefer that. The Studio is all satin versus the Standard having a gloss top. The bridge and the fingerboard are walnut with simple dot inlays. And then, of course, you've got pretty simple appointments. There's not a lot of flash here. It's really just getting down to the essence of what it is as an acoustic guitar. Like I said, silkscreen logo, basic inlays, walnut, satin finish, those kinds of things. Here's the highlights though. For $999, you're getting a Gibson that's hand-built in Bozeman, Montana, here in the USA, with a Fishman pickup system and a hard shell case for $999. Now to put that in context for you, there's another American guitar builder that we have lauded for years because they make a great entry-level, well, I should say entry-level in context. They make a great affordable all-solid wood guitar, and that would be Martin. So the Martin Rhodes series, starting at $799, has been a great value because it's all solid wood guitars, but those are made in their Mexico factory. This, at $999, is insane value being made right here in the USA. So let's take a look at what's a little bit different about the Standard versus the Studio. So this is the Standard with a slightly different aesthetic, but not by much. Most of the core features of this are exactly like the Studio that we just looked at. So very similar construction, neck shape, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and everything else. The big differences are aesthetics. So it's still a solid Sitka spruce top and walnut back and sides. It's bound in a dark binding both on the top and the back, whereas on the Studio, it's light colored binding just on the top. The top is glossed versus satin. The fretboard and the bridge are rich light. That's why you get that dark coloring. Looks like ebony, but it's rich light. And then you have mother of pearl diamond inlay here on the fingerboard. And that's basically it. Now the difference in price is $200. This is $1299 versus $999. That's it. The guitars sound very similar, but you do get the gloss top, which some people are going to prefer. In both cases, these are guitars made for someone who's going to be playing out and wants a more modern Gibson, both in feel and sound, but with that Gibson tradition that's there, and it's still the Gibson-esque tone that we tend to know. The big takeaways here are the depth of the body, so it's a little bit more comfortable for a lot of people. It's not quite as deep, and the neck is different. Now this is an advanced, not performance, response. Advanced response neck from Gibson. And here's what the neck shape is. It's basically like a very soft V. It's comfortable. It's not a pronounced V, so don't go, oh, I don't like V-necks. You probably wouldn't even notice unless I told you that. But it's not a C shape, it's not a D shape. There's a little bit of a V to it, and it's tapered. So as you move up, it's actually thinner than down here, which makes a lot of sense, okay? Because here, where you might play like a D sharp or D with F sharp in the bass by wrapping your thumb over the top of it, that extra girth of the neck's very comfortable in the palm of your hand. But where you transition as you move up, it transitions as well, and it gets a little thinner and a little flatter as you move up. So overall, the satin finish neck is very, very comfortable. Both guitars sound fantastic, and they're a huge value with, again, bullet point it, right? USA made, Gibson guitar, all solid wood construction with a pickup and a case. So, see for yourself. We're gonna play through both of them. First the studio, then the standard. You can hear. Check it out. So there you have it, the new Gibson G-45, available in studio and standard versions, gives you an incredible value in an American-made solid wood acoustic electric guitar. I gotta say, these are really, really nice. I like the sound of them, and they are very resonant, very lightly built. It really, you can tell that these have a lot of craftsmanship that's put into them, even at this price point. I think it's fantastic that Gibson is including a hard shell case with both models, and you get a Fishman sonotone pickup, which is a tried and true, good rugged pickup that'll work in most every situation. Here's my one thing. If I have to pick one thing I don't like about these guitars, it is the tuners. They are Grover mini rotomatic tuners, and there's nothing wrong with Grover. I don't like mini rotomatic tuners because I think they kind of, I don't know, it's not enough button there for leverage, but they do tune smoothly, so it could just be that I have soft, dainty thumbs, I don't know. But they tune smoothly, they hold their tune well, and they're Grovers, so it's a nice, you know, adjustability up there. Oh, tusk nut, tusk saddle, I mean, what's not to like? If you are looking for an affordable USA-made acoustic guitar with or without a pickup, you definitely need to check these out. So if you'd like more information, down in the description below, I've put links for both of these guitars on our website, the G45 Studio and the G45 Standard. If you click on those, it'll take you there. You can read up more about the specs and everything there. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us. Contact us, and we'd like to help you find the perfect guitar. And again, if you aren't already, make sure that you click on subscribe, turn on notifications, and like our videos, and we will keep making them for you because we want to remind you to play your guitar, play music, pick it up, do those things. And the very best guitar in the world is not something that costs $10,000 or that maybe I even have on this video. The best guitar is the one that you are playing today. So keep it up, and I'll see you next time.